July 24, 2025. Edirne, Turkey. Deportation Center. On that day, two Turkmen civil activists, Alisher Sakhatov and Abdulla Orusov, left the territory of the facility. After that, no one saw them again. Since then, their whereabouts remain unknown. There were no public investigation results. There was no confirmation of their safety. There were no explanations. And there was silence.
Before speaking about politics, we must say the most important thing. They were people. Sons. Husbands. Fathers.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum.
Hello. I am once again live on air with the voice of the people. If you could only hear what people are saying during my broadcast, in this live stream, we are discussing the problems of citizens as activists. My name is Alisher Sakhatov, a citizen of Turkmenistan currently residing in Turkey. I hereby announce a hunger strike as a sign of protest against my unjust detention and the attempt to deport me to Turkmenistan, where a painful death awaits me. I refuse to take any food or water until my situation is resolved in a fair and just manner. I hope that the authorities of Turkey will review my case and consider my situation fairly, because if I am deported to Turkmenistan, I face torture and death.
Справедливо рассмотрит мою ситуацию, так как при отправке в Туркменистан мне грозят пытки и смерть.
Today I am receiving frightening news from Turkmenistan. It is now December, and complaints are coming from residents of Gizelarbat. The cotton harvest has long been completed. And even on the Watan Hakimi program, officials reported to the president that the cotton harvest was finished. Migrants from Turkmenistan are afraid to return to their homeland, as the majority of citizens are currently in an irregular status abroad. Due to the increase in the dollar exchange rate, in Turkmenistan it is double. Rural residents are forced to leave the country and go abroad. Those who say that if you want to work, there are jobs in Turkmenistan, that is probably only in your dreams. Because in order to get a job, two factors are required: money for a bribe and personal connections. After that, you have to work for a miserable salary. Alisher Sakhatov was a civil activist who openly spoke about corruption, social inequality, and human rights violations. Abdulla Orusov was an activist who advocated for freedom of speech and the protection of civil rights. They did not hold power. They did not have government positions. They did not have resources. Their only instrument was their voice. They raised issues of forced labor, restrictions on freedom of movement, pressure on migrants, corruption, abuse by security structures. They spoke openly, and they were heard. July 24th. According to their supporters, the activists left the deportation center. What happened next is unknown. Were there camera recordings? Were there witnesses? Was a full investigation conducted? There is no public information. One day passed, then a week, then a month. No answers appeared. At the time of this film's production, Turkish authorities did not present public investigation results. Turkmen official structures made no statements about the activists' fate. The Embassy of Turkmenistan in Ankara did not issue explanations. The Ombudsman of Turkmenistan made no public statement. International organizations expressed concern. Recommendations were issued, but there is still no confirmed information about their whereabouts. The uncertainty has lasted for months. In international law, there is a term, transnational repression. It describes situations where According to human rights organizations, a state exerts pressure on its citizens beyond its borders. Forms may include threats, pressure on families, deportation, enforced disappearances. Human rights reports have documented cases of Turkmen activists disappearing outside the country. In Turkey, in the Russian Federation, names were recorded. Farkhad Meymankuliev, Rovshan Kluchev, Malik Berdi Alamuradov, Azat Isakov, Serdar Durdaliev, Farkhad Genjiyev, Maksat Bayramiradov, Jumasapar Dedibayev, Saddam Gulamov, Dovran Imamov, Merdan Muhammedov. In many cases, their fate remained unclear. This creates the sense of a repeating pattern. 2 people disappeared. 2. They had no weapons. They had no power. They only had a voice. Their strength was in their words. But thousands remain silent. Silent are those whose problems they raised. Silent are those who face corruption daily, economic pressure, forced migration, restrictions on rights. Fear is also a tool. When one disappears, thousands become afraid. But silence does not protect. Today, citizens of Turkmenistan remain in deportation centers in Turkey. Human rights defenders warn of risks of new disappearances. Lack of transparency increases fear. When there is no information, fear fills the space. This is Umida Bekjanova. Our compatriot and civil activist is under threat of deportation. Many months have passed. They are gone. We do not know where they are. We do not know if they are alive. But we know what they stood for. Freedom of speech, the right to speak, the right to be heard. If the voice disappears, the ability to defend rights disappears with it.